Hello and welcome to chapter 163 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how are you doing today?
Sorry, I got distracted by a tweet that Ron sent me. Oh, not a tweet. Sorry, a thing on Instagram. Oh boy, yeah, that was nice. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing well, Joe. Doing well. Just waiting in anticipation for Shazam. For my child that is
Nope,
due
nope. You
on
said it right the
Sunday.
first time.
So, but we will be forging on. We will be talking about our Shazam review in a little bit. We have some Superman news, but we were also listeners recording a Patreon recording before this. So
Yeah, that's gonna be coming out in let's see, today is March. It'll be coming out soonish, at least a month, if not a month and a half. So just be on lookout for that, you patrons. And I don't know, maybe we'll talk more about it in the coming episodes and try and entice people to go over to Patreon.
well, I guess since we're talking about the Patreon, I should get the network plugs out of the way before we get into the show, Joe.
Makes sense.
We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 8 shows in total. On Mondays is Ranger Alliance, and that rotates bi-weekly with Slice of Film. On Tuesdays is DC Alliance. On Wednesdays, for one more week, is a walk through the multiverse with
This is the
Joe.
final week.
This is the final week. On Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance. On Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays for the final week is the Animation Nation podcast. And on Sundays, monthly, is World's Finest True Believers. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feed. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance if you just want Marvel content, DC content, or Star Wars content only. But if you want all 8 shows on the GUA Podcast Network, stay subscribed to GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon that Joe was talking about earlier. 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar. You like what we're doing, you want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. And myself and Joe have recorded. It's been edited, and it was posted up today or yesterday, one of the two. The newest DC films through the years. Myself and Joe talked about Batman 89, the
Mhm.
classic, the tale of the mass murdering vigilante Batman getting vengeance on anyone that would come near him. And Joe, I love that movie. Just we talked about quite a bit of different things. It was a fun discussion.
That
So
was really fun to do. Yeah.
patrons, be on the lookout for that. The next one for us is the Flash 1990
And-
TV pilot or
Yep.
91. I'm not sure.
It's
So
1990 TV pilot.
which was a TV movie. So we're going to check that out. So patrons, stick with us as we cover all the DC films through the years. We also have the Marvel Alliance guys, Chris and Brent, going through their MCU rewatch. Not only the films, but the one shots as well. So stick with them as we cover the entirety of the MCU. We have Clay going through shows for the first time. We have Katie going through Star Wars comics with her husband. And we have Joe's Multiverse Minutes, which I was a part of one recording earlier, a few weeks to a month back, and I was with Joe for another recording that we did before this show. I won't
Mhm.
say what it was about. I'll let Joe let everyone know when that comes, but it was quite the fun discussions.
Sure, but I did actually just release another Multiverse Minutes
Hmm.
Friday or Saturday. I can't remember which.
Yes.
Uh, doing some comic talk. I'm gonna try and do this at least once a month, talking about the comics I'm reading for the comic reading challenge of 2023. It's really more for me so that I would have memories of what I talk about when we do the big overall. Because last year I totally forgot what we were talking about in like
Also,
January
motivation
and
to
stuff.
read books. You're like, I should get a couple books, at least 3 or 4 books done this month so I can talk about them. So a little bit of motivation too to get more books read, I guess, maybe.
Well, I know I've upped my my goal from last year to this year. My current goal is 1,000, and I know I'm going to get that. I'm about halfway right now, and it's only been 3 months, so we'll see what I get next year, or what I get by the end of the year.
But
I
we
think
think
last year I had like 1,500 or close to it.
yeah, I was insane. You guys
No, it's
talking
1,200.
about your
Wow.
comics
Anyway,
was, I'm like, yeah, I got to read more comics. Yeah, but we thank everyone that's a patron. If you're not a patron, if you take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, this will be very valuable in a little bit after our main topic. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Please rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a great thing. Okay, Joe, let's get into the show. But before we do, On the Game has a comment about our main topic, which is worst kept secret in Hollywood. Of course, was Don and did the last script that Gunn wrote that he didn't direct. I think so. I really do, but I could be wrong. Did he direct Brightburn?
No, he was just a producer on that one.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was a writer on that as well.
But I'm trying to. Well, no, Scooby Doo was probably before Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Possibly. Well, that leads us into our main topic of the night, obviously, Joe. James Gunn will be the director of DC Studios' Superman Legacy, or so we're led to believe. Speaking in an interview with Comic Pop, DC comic writer Tom King talked about an interesting detail about Superman Legacy. And his quote here is Tom King says, I mean, it's tough because there's stuff I can talk about and stuff I can't. It's totally fair question. I mean, James Gunn is a super nerd and he's super creative, right? He's the writer and director of the Superman movie, and he's sort of the creative force behind all of this, him and Peter Safran. And he reached out to a group of screenwriters and myself, fantastic, amazing, whose names he's put out there to work on these movies and TV shows as good as they can be. But the thing that he said there was he's the writer and director of the Superman movie,
Yep.
and he's part of the writers group. S-Bubs says, I guess there's technically some episodes of Peacemaker. S-Bubs, we'll highlight your comments for as long as you're still around. I don't know if you're going to be taken out any moment.
That's a whole different thing. That's the other podcast. We're not talking about
I'm thinking, don't you bring this hurt down on us, S-Bubs. I'm just kidding, obviously. But yeah, he is right. There are some episodes that he didn't direct. And Alan says, yeah, it was Don the Dead and Scooby Doo too. Both.
Thank you,
Joe, nice call on that one.
Well,
so
I knew he did Scooby Doo, but I just couldn't remember what years those came out. I know they were early 2000s, but everything was mangled up here.
Come over here, S-Bubs. We'll see if we can get jurisdiction to keep you safe over here.
Yeah, I don't think Geekverse has enough legality to
keep you
safe.
Yeah, but this is obviously like on the game tease. This is like the worst kept secret.
Well, we talked about this a few weeks back, where I think you had even asked about if he was going to direct it or write it and direct it, and I feel like I remember saying like I'm okay with him writing, or I'm okay with him directing, but not both. I mean, and obviously, I think then I was still on the in that minority, I guess, of like, oh well, I'm believing he's not going to direct it. If he does, fine. Like I'm not. I would like to have seen somebody else do it, but he's been wanting to do write/direct the Superman movie for a while. Brightburn was the closest he has ever gotten, and even that, like I said, he just produced it. But I think because he was doing the Suicide Squad at the time, or Guardians, one of the two. But yeah, like it sucks that he's not going to offer it to somebody else, but I'm also not going to hate it. Like I trust what James Gunn is doing. I have seen his movies. I enjoy his movies, so fine. I'm okay with this.
I'm more than okay with this. I'm happy with this because this is his shot. This is his universe he's building. You don't want him to get a director and then him director not see eye to eye. I know that probably wouldn't be the case, but you never know when you get on set and people are trying to make decisions. I'd rather him just make all the calls here. If this is really the start of the DCU,
correct. This is the opening salvo.
I don't want any I don't want any excuses either. Well, he wrote it, but he didn't get it directed. And if he would have directed it would have been different. No, I want them to take their biggest swing with the Superman film. You go out, you make sure you make $700+ million with this Superman film. That's the only benchmark that should be there. Like it should make more than Man of Steel. Like that should be a goal for them. Like that is not an understatement. To kick out when you're kicking off this new universe, you need to do more in the box office. You need to hit that 700 number or more. And I enjoyed all his superhero movies to an extent, some more than others. There were cringe.
Just superhero movies. Like I said, I loved both Scooby Doo movies.
Yes, and Dawn of the Dead. He didn't direct Dawn of the Dead, but I enjoyed that one as well.
Dawn of the Dead. Like it's just he is a good writer. He's a good director. Having him on both, and similar to what he said, if it was him writing and somebody else directing, well, director has final say. Mm-hmm. They can change up the script. At least if he's writing and directing, if he changes up script, it's because he saw something different that just works, and it's still his story, but it's now his story evolving,
On the game,
like stories do.
I think this will happen at Comic-Con. He says, "Would help if directors for a couple of the other movies were named to show that he's thinking about that." I think we'll get a whole
Yeah,
bunch of that at Comic-Con.
I am a
Uh,
little perturbed that we don't have anybody yet. Like we are, I mean, we have time, sure, but like these are projects that Gunn and Safran are actively working on, and they have people in mind, but nothing has been announced yet.
I am going to chalk this up. This is my positive thinking, Travis. Back DCU revival has brought me back. Um,
That's good.
I think that this is a good thing that nothing's getting out like that, because before it was the wild, wild west with DCU with rumors and like crazy things going, and we even get it here. We'll talk about it in a couple of minutes. But Gunn shooting down another casting rumor for this Superman film.
Mhm.
Uh, like I do like how they're keeping it close to the vest. I like how things aren't getting out at
This
all.
this is a very big change from what we had the last 5 years.
Mhm.
So yes, I'm with you on that one.
It's Joe. I akin it to my I cheer for a sports team, Toronto Maple Leafs, and they were mired in disaster and terribleness for a 10-plus year stretch there, where rumors would fly rampant, and then those people that were in those rumors would get traded a few days, a week or two after. Since the new regime has taken over in like the past 5 years, nobody knows when trades are coming, and those trades are executed in the late of the night. They're not leaked out by any because they have scoopers in all the sports as well, trying to get those things out,
Of
and
course.
they're leaked out. They're put out at the end of the night at trade calls. Like the scoopers get their information like any general public person do when they put out the call sheet of who was traded. So they and people have remarked, the scoopers have remarked like this is well, they're called insiders there, but they've remarked how different it is. Like their information doesn't get out anymore. They're tight lipped. They run away different ship than they did in the past. And this is what I feel like with this too. Like we're not getting all this. We're getting your Grace Randolph throwing out random shit that and trying to make it stick, and it's getting shot down like Gunn has been shooting down some of these things. But
Again,
your
Brooks lost the
legitimate
right
Boris
choice today.
kits, and stuff, they're not having coming out with any like groundbreaking stuff because it's not getting out. Gunn's holding that close to the vest until he does announcements and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm really happy that it's going that way.
As
So,
long as John Campea doesn't tweet out something and be like, I don't know how this got here. It's probably
oh
fake.
my god, there was like someone shared that. Clay shared that in
That's
our chat, and I
the
was
only
just like,
reason why it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that thing happened. Glad
and
I didn't see it when it happened. I didn't see him until after the movie, but like, what the hell? Why?
same.
There's no reason.
I didn't see those. I saw the trailer a day early on someone's phone through a phone kind of thing online, and that made me go 0 dark 30. I'm like that ruined the experience of the
Yeah,
trailer the next day. So
which is fair. Which is fair.
I full on shut down. So I didn't get to see those, which was nice. But like I was telling you before, James Gunn, there was a rumor out about Superman would be about 25 years old, and Lois Lane would be between 20 and 30. Grace Randolph said that there's a casting call out for actors to portray Superman and Lois Lane with an age range of 20 to 30, noting that plans were to film in early 2024. James Gunn, no, a casting director hasn't even been hired. I love it. I love that. Uh, yeah, it wasn't his shining moment there on the game. Yeah, that I love that. I love him clapping back like that, especially with Grace Randolph, who, like I said, is probably my least favorite of all these people because she just throws every. The other people are like faceless, nameless entities, and like they're just like one take news, or you know what I mean? They're just handles. Whereas this
You're just
person is
people that just, hey, I've got a thought. Let's throw it out there, see if somebody actually, if it catches. And oh look, I was ahead of the game. No, like
no.
this is Grace Randolph. Like she actually has clout, I guess. I don't know. But like she's like, oh yeah, this is totally happening. James Gunn's like, no, it's not. Like
And that's why I love. I know
you're being pushed.
people are asking like, "Don't be on Twitter as much, James. Please, like, don't be on Twitter." I love when he's on like this and he's shutting these people down. The only thing with it is if people are like, "You didn't respond to these rumors," or "You didn't respond to this,"
Correct.
so
Like
like he didn't
that's
say anything on the Affleck news that broke last week that we talked about. He didn't respond to any tweets about that, any people asking him about that, he went 0 Dark 30 when it regards to that question. So
But
that
that's one
would
of those
me to
things
think
where,
that that's a possibility.
but that's one of the things I've been saying. Like yes, he's active on Twitter, and yes, there's some stuff he's responding to, and some he's not. And you're getting, like you said, you're getting these people who are like, oh, so this is true because he didn't say anything about it. This was going to happen. He's going to go to the point where he's not going to be on Twitter.
Well, if he's directing the
active.
Superman film too, good
He's
luck
gonna be
as
busy.
being on Twitter.
But like he's gonna be busy. He's not gonna be able to do all this stuff, and then people are just gonna be running rampant with all these rumors and ideas, and oh, it's gotta be true because Gunn isn't saying no. He had a double-edged sword here, and while it has been fun to see him shoot down all these scoopers who have the inside track, and he's like, yeah, no, like I'm the one who would know. You're wrong. I don't know who your inside guy is. I'm the inside guy, and I'm saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Like Joe, what they like, he can't be like, cut. Okay, hold on a second for the next scene. I got to respond to a couple Twitter rumors by DC because I'm still the DCU. No, if he's filming Superman Legacy, that's not going to be on his
he's
mind.
gonna be off Twitter for a little bit, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
And I'm in agreement with you as well. I just don't
can't
understand.
I don't know him either. Again, me just now being part of DC Alliance, I'm starting to know all of the scoopers. I'm starting to know all the things. The Campia thing was from Spider-Man No Way Home, 2 years ago. But like, he's done.
And S Bubs is pretty much in agreement. Once these movies are in full swing, they have the time to be shutting people down.
Correct. Yep.
Yes. So, and like I said, Joe,
on that one.
that's what some people would think too. Like, you didn't respond to this, so it must be real. Now, my thing is like, I just won't rule that out. I won't say like that's 100% happening. But if he doesn't respond to something, I'll just make note of it in my head of like, I guess that's
Correct.
a possibility.
It's
that's
a rumor,
a possibility.
and until those rumors start catching fire, like it's just gonna be a rumor.
Yeah. So like, ultimately, I'm excited. Like, this is James Gunn's chance. It's his shot, and whatever happens, it'll be on him when the Superman film. And I hope it's a great film. I can't wait to finally see what he
I'm
does
looking
with
forward to it.
this. So, Joe, let's take our first ad break of the evening before we talk about our Shazam 2 preview and the giveaway details. We'll get the giveaway details out of the way first. But before we do that, listeners, we're an ad-supported network. We don't pick the ad or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. And Joe didn't click the button.
I was waiting on me to click button.
One of the random podcasts came up, like I accidentally clicked it, of our old one. I think it was about Henry Cavill not returning anymore, and it was cut in like perfectly. And I was like, "Oh wait, Joe did that last week too," and I forgot about it.
Yeah, it's one of those surprises. I'll pop it in from
once in a while.
time.
Okay,
I'm not gonna tell you when.
But Joe, we have a film coming out on
We do.
Friday, and as all planned right now, we will be reviewing it on Friday night, bearing any unforeseen labor circumstances.
Let's put it this way. I'll be here Friday night.
Yes.
Will I be by myself? I don't know. Will Travis be here with me? I don't know.
I'm going to try my hardest.
Travis is not here. Will I have somebody else? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. There are plans. I have contingency plans in place just in case. But I plan to be there. It's going to be a good film. I'm excited about it.
All I just need to know is if I have to do like the show notes. That's all I need.
Yeah, I will do those regardless.
Okay.
As long as I see the film. So yeah, this film's coming out Thursday.
Okay.
Coming out Thursday. We're gonna see it. I'm gonna see it Friday. I have a test that Friday, so I'm gonna see it then after.
I'm seeing it Thursday night, and possibly might try to see it Friday night after work before the recording.
If I didn't have the test, I would see it Thursday night. Thursday, 4 o'clock. That would be my go-to. But unfortunately, although we did talk about this multiple times, myself and Joe, that when we do movie reviews, we're going to have giveaways as well. So for this movie, the Shazam Fury of the Gods, we're going to have a comic giveaway.
Yes.
And not only are the people that you fall first, if you're in the live chat while we're doing the episode on Friday, and you comment like On the Game has, like S Bubs has, you'll be entered in automatically for a chance to win the comic that we're giving away. But if you don't listen to the episode live, if you can't make the live chat on YouTube, we're still not going to throw you out in the cold, we'll say. We'll give it a week, like until the next episode of DC Alliance, with which we will not go the following Monday, but the week after that we'll be back. And we will draw it then. But if you don't get a chance to be in the live show, if you rate and review the DC Alliance podcast on your podcast feeds, the solo feed of DC Alliance, you will be entered in as well for a chance to win the comic. And Joe, what is that comic for our YouTube?
So depending on how many
Yes.
reviews, how many people are on in the live, we got one right here, Trial of Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
And again, depending on how many, we'll get either 2 away, which is the Shazam New 52 run. Either we'll give 2 away, 2 separate, or if we have small amount of people, it'll be all together. So you'll be able to get both of these.
Mm-hmm.
The Trial of Shazam takes place pre New 52. Shazam is New 52.
And since this is DCU and we're going forward, as this is James Gunn and Peter Safran going forward, if you've won a contest in the past, I don't remember it now, so you're free to be in here as well. So just remember that. I know some of them were writing the reviews on the podcast feed, so you may want to get into the live chat if you've already did that to win a old contest. But still, if you have won something in the past, it doesn't matter as long as you enter here, either in the chat or reviewing us. It'll be fun. I'm excited to give that away.
It'll be fun to do. I don't, like I said, just depends on how many people are in it, and if it's if we actually have enough, and we do it'd be 2 people giving away. The first winner will get their choice.
Yeah.
Second winner will get the leftover. So yeah, it should be fun. We'll see. We'll do like a number generator or something.
There's nice two volumes of the Flash by Jeff Johns up there for the.
Well, we might have a lot for the Flash then.
Yeah,
I got 2 myself.
So stick with us. Like I said, I don't know if I don't say if you won Shazam, we will rule you out entirely for the next one, but
we'll cross that with multiple winners.
Same. We'll cross that bridge. There's loyal listeners, I call them. So, Joe, that's out of the way. Like I said, we have a film coming up. So, what do you think is? Do you have any bold predictions? What are you expecting for this film?
So I rewatched Shazam today while I was at work, just because it's been a minute. I think actually the last time I rewatched really any movie of the DCU was before Suicide Squad. I thought about watching them before Black Adam, but never did. That's a whole different thing. So prediction wise, given the fact that we know that the DCU is going to be changing.
Yeah.
I know Zachary Levi was it Zachary Levi that said here recently, or was it
David Sandberg? I think you watch the movie for.
Yeah, so basically they didn't give any indication that this character would be going into the DCU, the new DCU, whatever. So within my mind of when this movie came out, this movie was done a year and a half ago, give or take, because then it got bumped. So in my mind, they were still under the impression that as long as the movie did good, they would have a sequel. So they probably would set up some stuff here and there. So I'm thinking we might have Shazam 2's
looking worse than Black Adam, which is not
this
good.
Is going to be a word of mouth, which
yes.
Also there is a new TV spot out there which gives a major cameo away.
That was rumored like a lot that I think we've even talked about on the show. So hide your eyes.
We have
hide your eyes.
But I know Brent in the chat in the GUA. He came across it, wasn't looking for it, was in I think a Reddit post. I was just scrolling through Instagram, and it started to pop up, and I'm like, no, like I don't want this. So I think I've been spoiled. So I think I know what.
I haven't seen it, but I could guess.
Stay away,
just from like what we talked about earlier in the last
I would, yeah.
previously.
I do remember making a prediction that Eclipso would show up at one point because of the what was it, the poster that came out at the DC online Comic Con thing that is
Yeah,
totally crap now. Uh,
DC,
yeah, I don't
DC.
remember what it's called
Oh my god,
because it was this last year was total
DC
shit.
fandom, DC
There we go,
fandom.
that thing.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think it's gonna happen. I do. Part of me thinks that Billy could sacrifice himself and he could possibly die. Who knows? Thanks, S Bubs. That's how much I didn't care. That's how much I didn't care.
the first one was so good.
First one was amazing.
The other one, we're not telling you the schedule, so sit through it all.
Fine. That was fine.
Joe,
I
honestly,
here's
yeah,
one prediction. One cameo I think will happen. I think Talkie Tawny, the tiger, will show up. Probably in a end credit scene or a mid credit scene, but like
yeah.
I think he will show up.
That's not a bad bold prediction. I thought before we got anything for this that we'd see Mr. Mime and what's his name
Savannah,
again, Dr. Sven again.
which
But
that could also be a post credit scene. I know they
I
said it's not going to, but
yeah, I got my doubts, but post credit scene possibly. But I with James Gunn, I feel like that could have been chopped out just to say like we're not going to tease anything about this. And
correct.
on the game said it's going to make less than China 10 million than Black Panther Wakanda Forever 15.6, which had 3 months after the fact it went over there. So yeah, it's not good, S Bubs, and on the game, it's not good. The projections are low. So
I think
I
actually,
hope
you know
that,
what?
like Joe said, I hope positive word of mouth gets it going. But it's also there's so much in this
But that's
month.
also what I think why they put out this new TV spot to be like, oh, similar to
How'd
what
that
happened
work for
with Black
how'd that
Adam.
work for Black Adam?
It was total crap.
And
But like,
Superman is more popular, and the showdown of Superman Black Adam than Wonder Woman showing up for some reason. Probably just give him
spoiler alert,
motivation. Like you can do it. Sorry, God damn it.
allegedly, allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. S Bub says I might be skipping Shazam until next week, but this Sunday I'm going to do an early screening of the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which is what I'm very interested in as well.
Now I'm jealous. The hell, I'm
That's
totally
pretty
ready
cool,
to
S
see that.
Bubs. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with the Shazam movie, but there are some early reviews in for
Let
that,
me just tell you
Joe.
this real quick. I'm gonna go see this Thursday night, 5 o'clock my time. There, out of myself and my two kids, there are 4 other people in this theater.
I haven't even looked. That's how confident I am. I haven't looked at the seating charts for mine
4
yet,
other people. Not
so
good. That
I
is
feel like
not
I'll
good.
get in it
Now,
sometime Friday.
there is a lot of times that's gonna be showing, but still, like, that's not it's not good.
No, it's not gonna. It's not. It's unfortunately, it's not gonna do great. But like you said, maybe with legs because critics are saying a lot of mostly good things.
Well,
Uh,
that's a bad thing, though, because we've got Shazam this week. Next week is John Wick.
yeah, John Wick's gonna take, but that's rated R too, so you could get
Sure.
some kids to
Then the
this.
week after that is Dungeons& and Dragons. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think it's definitely not gonna take next weekend. I hope it takes this weekend. It should,
yeah.
but I doubt it'll take the following weekend. Like
And then you got Super
I
Mario coming in the first
the
week of
week
April, so
after.
that's
So
gonna
like
take all the
it's
kids. That's gonna
totally
take all
going
the
to
kid
kill
from
it.
it. But you have a kid element that you can get right now, but you can't go too far depending on the scenes. Like the boardroom scene is super scary for a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
kids. So
I remember
yeah,
when I took my kids to go see that one, I took the youngest out at that scene, knowing full well what was coming up. I'm like, oh hey, you gotta go to the bathroom, right? Let's go to the bathroom. Just kind of like yanked her out.
yeah, that's so yeah. Like I said, there's some early reviews in for this. Cineblin's Eric Osberg says Shazam: Fury of the Gods is a super fun and worthy sequel. Not a game-changing comic book movie, but it wins you over with its character and energy. Has some real surprises and knowing sensibility that suits it well. Plus some creative and exciting monster action. Courtney Howard from Variety says Shazam: Fury of the Gods movie is a super powered sequel that packs a punch. It's super solid, super fun, and super smart. My God, all the supers. Super smart blend of hilarity, heart, and heroics ramps up the action and irreverses to a delightful degree. Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler are MVPs and love the dragon.
Very cool.
James Gunn chimed in with his own review. I loved it. It's a complete blast. Zachary Levi and David Sandberg and Rachel Zegler and the whole crew killed it. I'm
It
just seeing if there
looks
any
like it
negative
should be
ones.
fun. Like I mean, I'm sure. What's has IMDb Rotten Tomato stuff come out yet for that or?
I don't know. Let me have a quick look. Rotten.
Because I mean, again, Rotten Tomatoes isn't the best
No,
place to go to,
but it's a
but
good parameter for box
correct,
office indications sometimes.
correct. And my guess is they probably haven't. We are literally 4 days out, and if they haven't put anything out yet, heck, honestly, maybe tomorrow is when everything's going to start dropping.
It
If I'm
could
being
be.
honest,
You're
but I hope this is the first of the final four movies, and we've already started hearing bad things about Aquaman, which is not great.
nothing for it yet in
Okay.
Shazam.
This
Yeah.
was the other one I was worried about because I'm not worried about Flash. Flash is going to get the big buzz because of Keaton. Blue Beetle, I think, will do fine because it's technically its own little pocket area. Shouldn't have to worry about that. And this is one of those movies that's like, okay, well, the first one was good, first one was fun, but it's kind of stuck at a bad spot, you know?
A lot of it's talked about family too. A lot of the critics are talking about
Hashtag family.
family and the monsters. So I'm definitely cool with this film. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I don't think, like people said, I don't think it's going to be a game changer.
Which
Especially
a
I think
few days is the embargo lifts
this
Wednesday.
Wednesday, which is never a great thing.
No, it's not.
Never a great thing. But I mean, all the teasing stuff is mostly positive. I didn't see the same thing with Black Adam. Black Adam was getting roasted immediately upon.
I
Uh,
think Black Adam was getting roasted because The Rock was putting so much into it. And I'm not saying people were going up against The Rock, but like,
there was a lot of hate there. Yeah, there was a lot of
yeah,
unnecessary, like a Chris Pratt type of thing. But I'm excited for this film. I'm excited for the
I'm looking
giveaway.
forward to it.
So Joe, I'll see you on Friday for that.
Hopefully,
Hopefully,
I don't want to do show notes.
knock on wood here. Uh, hopefully I'll be watching March Madness while I'm doing show notes for this.
Oh yeah,
That's
I forgot.
well, Allison's like,
Sports ball.
I hope I don't give birth this week so I can watch March Madness. I'm like, you go, honey, you go.
I mean, honestly, you give birth now, you have free access in the TV in the hotel.
We got that here though. Yeah.
True, but you got
Hotel room. What do you think? No.
sorry, you know that my hospital room.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So let's jump into some DC news. A couple things before we take our ad break. There's Joker 2 set photos, Joe, showing Harley Quinn. Did you get a chance to look at these?
No, I did not.
Nothing,
Let me check that real quick.
nothing huge and revealing there. Just her getting into a cab and her character. So I'm not sure. Like nothing giving away here. Just her getting into a sedan. So just nice to see her on set, and this is going strong. This is coming out in 2024. Yeehaw! And as Bob said, Black Adam embargo also lifted on Wednesday.
Oh well,
And on the game said Rock was defending Black Adam again at the Oscars. Yeah, I saw that, and the comparison didn't make much sense.
that was
Like,
shared in the group chat. And
uh,
I didn't watch it.
win championships, and you had a coach, and like, when did you win those championships? Like,
When he was playing that one
Man of
movie.
Steel made like 600 and something million. Like, you can't jump on the back of that and say like, yeah, go us together. No, that's not how that worked. You made Black Adam. That's what you made. That's it. So yeah, I just thought it was just say I took a. All you need to do was the GIF I shared. Just say I took a swing and I missed. I went for the top and it didn't work out. But no, can't say that.
Well, Rock
Can't admit you're
doesn't
wrong.
lose.
Yeah, you can't lose.
Yeah,
So
he's got to crack up the Zola and just like slam it and be like, "I got this."
I'm excited that Joker 2 is getting going. I'm really interested to see how that film's going to do compared to the first one. Like, I thought the first one was like lightning in a bottle, so I'm really interested
Yeah,
to see how this is going to go. But with Lady Gaga too, the mystery of just two of those characters, Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix, two of those actors together in a role, I think like it has the film purists like going crazy in excitement.
it's
So
one of those things where there hasn't been a ton coming out. It's very few set photos at the moment. There has been a ton leaks of script or what's going on. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm intrigued. I like Lady Gaga. I like Joaquin Phoenix. I can't wait to see them on screen together and see what this movie is going to be about. And we will see that in the future. That's
Yeah, it'll
coming
be
out
in
in 24, 25.
2024. I think it's the
Okay.
only one that's scheduled to come out in 2024 for DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fun.
So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah,
So
we got
Joe,
time.
let's take our final ad break of the evening before we get into the final couple news segments, and then I gotta talk about the Flash. God damn it. Okay, let's take our final ad break of the evening. Listeners from our ad support network, we don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And and we're back.
Yep.
Uh,
Gotcha.
you did. You got me good that time. So, Joe, there's just a couple little news things we got to talk about before we talk about the shows that we watched this week. Um, HBO Max dropped Batman Cape Crusader and didn't take long at all. Amazon Prime has picked up Cape Crusader and ordered it 2 seasons. What do you think about this development, Joe? We did speculate this before. I think we said Amazon could be one of those. We talked about Invincible being there and The Boys
Yep.
and it looking for content. Do you think this is the right place? Could we get more than 2 seasons? Amazon's not like Netflix where it would cancel things on a whim either.
No, in fact, Amazon tends to front load more than anything else. And then once those things are complete, it's like, all right, cool. We did our run. Thanks. I'm excited. I'm not shocked whatsoever that once HBO dropped it, that Prime picked it up. Especially since they were the one that would have given it a chance. That Hulu is there's a lot of questions surrounding Hulu right now. What's going on with that? Netflix obviously has their own problems going on, so I'm happy it didn't go there. Amazon Prime seems to be the one spot that is kind of while some of their stuff just ends quickly or they don't give it a chance. Others they give it like this. You said they're getting 2 seasons already. Cool. They haven't even got the first season out. Like it hasn't even been made yet, and that they're already pushing a 2-season order. Like they have full confidence in this, as they should. Batman is a character that gets people. Like people flock to it. So they're getting this new show on there. People gonna flock to the service, and I mean, we'll watch it.
Well,
We'll
that's the thing
cover it,
about
probably.
I want
At
to
least you
take a
cover
moment.
for Animation Nation anyway.
No, we'll see how that goes with I'm never against letting DC Alliance use
See,
stuff if we got
that's
nothing
the
going on
beauty
because
of
I can
your
always
show.
go with old stuff.
But that's the beauty. They're both your shows. You
Yeah.
can decide where you want to put it.
Well, there you go. But no, obviously we'll talk about it with you, but covering it, obviously, I think we will do that out here. It's going to be a sparse couple of years with content before we
Yeah,
get into like the
2024 is going to
DCU.
be.
So
We're going to be
yeah,
scrapping.
we'll take that. Yeah, I'm really excited about this, but I want to speak a minute because like even with the direct DC direct where I got the story from, um, they say HBO Max abandons Batman show as their
Yep.
title for the people have to realize too. This is actually like I got to give WBD credit when they actually make smart decisions when you're in situations that they're in. So they were in a situation where they needed cash flow. Cash flow was a thing that they were desperate for. They was not prioritized for the previous regime, and their returns on investment was not great. So they needed instant cash flow. And doing this is a smart way. And also, it's not like, yes, you're building up Amazon Prime as a streaming service, but let's be honest here. The majority of people who have Amazon Prime have it for the shipping. You get the Amazon Prime as well. Like, that's the majority of the people.
Yeah,
So,
I just found out
yes,
I get free books on Kindle from
yeah.
because I get Amazon Prime.
So that's what I mean. Like you get the extra stuff. I don't think that that's going to that would take away many HBO Max subscribers. Now your other decisions on HBO Max may lead to that, but for instant cash, this is better than sending it to Netflix or I don't think they would do Disney Plus, but yeah, we'll never rule out anything like that. But like you know what I mean? It's still a smart decision to put it on Amazon. I feel like this is the best place for it. And 2 seasons, you can tell such a story. You can
Yeah.
drag things along, not drag things along, but like have connections from season 1 that come out in season 2.
Yep.
You have so much more room for possibility. So I'm really excited for this. And SPub says Amazon just collecting content from every studio, like the
True.
Infinity Stones. They're just going around collecting them all.
Well, now here's the thing. Do you think they're going to pull like similar to
The Dungeons and Dragons
oh,
screenings
nice.
actually only available to Amazon Prime people. Yep. Yep. I did remember reading that actually. Yeah.
Um, Actually, honestly, I'm probably gonna be busy anyway. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, for me. So yeah, yeah. Um, but question: do you think they ordered 2 seasons for Cape Crusader? Do you think it's going to be similar to how Harley Quinn was, where it was technically a 26 episode season, but just cut in half?
No. I think that they had a season 1 story already made for
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Okay.
And then when Amazon was like, "We'll take a second season of this will just be, like, continuing on."
Okay.
Yeah. And you can even do a time jump. There's so many possibilities. Like, you can do a couple year time jump and have a Robin with him if you're gonna start off without a Robin. There's like,
Dude,
if he doesn't get one.
I've always wanted to have an animated series that followed the comics, not to a T, but like closer than any
Yeah.
other adaptation. Start with year one, work your way through, go to, the many deaths of Batman, go to Batman,
You can do it all now,
second
Joe,
chance
because you don't have
yeah, like what I'm saying, like you just go to all those big major stories and be able to tell them in a animated format. And like the death in the family. You got the lonely place of dying, you got Nightfall, you got just do all of it. That's what I want.
and you like, they did Death in the Family kind of with the,
The movie, sure.
no, not
But
even that, with the homage to it, with Batgirl dying and everything going to crap, and, like, not Death in the Family, they did homages to different things in the animated series, but the
oh
FCC
yeah,
really
Killing Joke
really
and all
made it
that. Yeah.
really made it tough to do those kind of things. Like, they had to show Batgirl falling on the car, but just the shadow of it. You couldn't show her actually doing it. So here on the streaming service, they can do whatever they want. So that guy has
Yeah.
me very excited for the possibilities.
Very nice.
Okay, the final thing we have to talk about tonight is the Batman 2 is officially gets a start date. Um, which is
Batman.
the
Sorry, I didn't
Batman
realize
Part
I really
2
should say.
commences November 11th, 2023.
Okay.
Which this all makes sense too, because James Gunn's rule is you can't go into production until you have a script, and that's what
Which is
he
smart.
was working on. Yes,
I mean,
uh, Green Lantern. Anyone? Green Lantern. The first script, Superman was in it, and there was a whole lot of different things. I read that, and that was quite the different thing from what we got. So yeah, it's always nice.
I'm happy because back in like the 80s, 90s, they would just start a movie and like, oh, script's coming, you'll get, which is terrible because when you
Here's the
film a
first 30
movie, you're
pages.
not, yeah, well, but that's the thing, like you're not filming it from start to finish. You're
No,
filming like the middle and then the end,
not if
then
you
you
know
go
what
back
you're
to the
doing.
beginning.
Not if you know what you're doing.
Exactly. So the fact that they're like, oh yeah, no, we'll figure it out. That's not how you make money on the movie.
I'm really excited though, because I love the Batman one, and I'm so glad that we didn't like get the axe. And in the meantime, in between getting this, we're getting the Penguin show.
Yeah.
So that is like your thing, because it all connects. I'm really excited about this universe, Joe, and I'm so glad he can still tell it. But like I said, we're going to be waiting until November. We're going to be playing until 2025. But it's nice to see this going into production this year. So I'd say, like I said, it'll be quick. I think they want to get this out and done before the Brave and the Bold is even filming, hopefully. So
Which I mean, smart because apparently audiences can't figure out there's 2 Batman movies out there.
yeah, we can't figure it. This is just this guy as Batman, and
Uh-huh.
here's Batman, a part of the
There's another
greater.
Batman with a Robin.
Yeah,
Oh, what's on my mind is
my
crazy.
mind is blown. So, Joe, I put this off long enough, or as long as I could possibly put this off. I have to talk about the most recent episode of The Flash, season 9, episode 5, the conclusion of the Red Death story, The Mask of Red Death, part 2.
I got a question
And
for you.
yeah,
Was there a scene where there were multiple Red Deaths on like a courthouse stands?
the Red Death had sentries that like
Okay,
controlled the whole city.
okay. Because I saw a picture of that. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, it was like there was a whole lot of issues I have with this. Again, it's not been an enjoyable Flash final season for Travis. There's big glaring stuff, and the worst thing is like I'm not gonna post this for the most part on Twitter. Like, I don't like this episode. This was stupid for the most part. I did do it last episode, I think, or the episode before. One episode of the season, I just said like not good, not good. But a lot of people I saw were giving thumbs up for this certain part that I'll talk about in a second, and it just blew my mind. Like, okay, you've turned off all understanding to see this one semi cool thing
Well,
because
sure, but you have to anymore. Like the big awesome moment is the
it's not
best
even that
part.
awesome. It's just
I'm
like,
just saying.
yeah. Well, anyway, Red Death is running havoc. She is screaming to the top of her lungs because she's angry, and like that's the one thing that drove me crazy about Javika Leslie's performance as Red Death is the screaming when she was like "Vengeance, justice." It was so annoying and just took me out of it so much. It was so frustrating. So I'm not going to do beat by beats of the story. Another frustrating thing is Joe. I talked about Joe on Joe. I talked about Joe from The Flash being in this circular story of wanting to leave, not
Yes.
wanting to support Cecile, and then ultimately coming to, yeah, I support Cecile. Well, he jumped back on that circular track, and now he left the show. But I'm glad that he got out of the show. Stupid reason, but yeah, ultimately
Like he's out, like he's
he
done.
took out. He's gone to the woods in the cabin in the country with his girl, and Cecile's going to visit on weekends. So she's going to stay with Team Flash on the weekdays, and they're going to get Oliver on the all like the entirety of her on the weekends because there's no problems that ever come out on Flash on weekends. So
No,
yeah,
no,
that
no.
was
Problems only happen Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights when the show happens.
yeah. So they even mentioned that uh the Rogues. Well, it must be a Wednesday. I was like, I'm going to punch my
Are you
face.
serious?
Yes, yes. I was like, you know what's even more frustrating, Joe? I saw a clip last night going through like YouTube has like stories or like little clips, and it was the one where Weather Wizard or Weather Wizard, I think one of the guys, who was the guy in the first one that could control the weather with his hands and that I don't maybe it was
That
Weather Wizard, yeah, and his
sounds
brother, he has a brother in the show.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So his brother is going to do this big tidal wave, and Flash just runs back and forth and he accidentally goes back in time. And that scene just came up, and I'm like, my God, this show got cut down, and like this is season one. Like we're in season 9 now. We're way in advance in technology, and this looks so much better than anything I saw from that
Last
two
episode.
part Red Death. Supposed to be awesome. So it was so frustrating to see that, and then ultimately, Batgirl shows up out of nowhere, throws a batarang at Red Death and completely immobilizes their speed. They never once talk about where she was, how she got there, how she knew they were there, what she did for the batarang, how she figured out to take out the speed. Nothing. They didn't say because the last thing they said in the show was that she was abducted. She was taken when she was out on patrol, and they haven't seen her since. They don't say where she came from. I assumed when they said that a couple episodes ago that we would get a scene where Iris or Barry or some other person saved her, got her out of somewhere that she was locked up. So that was what I assumed. I didn't even get to see that. We didn't get any explanation. She never even said where she was to. Nothing. Because at the end, when Red Death's defeated and they're talking, she's like, all she says is, "I'm a big fan of your work, Iris. You should come for brunch with me, Kara." Like tells names after a couple people and then takes off. So I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, what a cool like superhero entrance from Batwoman. Oh, badass." I'm just like, okay, yeah, like it kind of looked cool, and you got the music kicking in. But where was she? There was no explanation for where she was to, and you had Red Death walking around to all the people in Central City with no mask on that looked just like Javika Leslie. So she was her doppelganger, and nothing to said about that. So like I was
It's fine.
so
Ryan Wilder, she went missing in Gotham because she's over here now in Central
but they
City.
didn't like even that's a lazy trope to say she goes missing, but even the old like 4 years ago, they would have showed a scene where somebody went and saved her and got her out, and then she showed up.
Maybe they just would be like, oh well, we're trying to we can't contact her. We don't know
This
why.
was so insulting to me. Like it was just like, so I'm supposed to just shut off all questions of where have you been, how did you get here, any questions to just be like, oh cool, thanks for showing up and throwing a batarang. Like even when Reverse Flash was shot by uh, Oliver with the arrow in the first season of Flash, he at least he says nanites, courtesy of Ray Palmer, they're disabling your speed for a while. Like you actually legitimately say that
Okay,
in the line.
fair,
You
fair.
don't say anything back, and this is 9 seasons in. You haven't learned any lessons to that. Batgirl comes up, throws the batarang. It's like, yeah, you won't be running. No, you won't have speed for a little while. And then Red Death says, "Bring it, bats." and they fight. So yeah, it was so frustrating, Joe. It was just
That's fair.
sad. When you hear Red Death is going to show up, you get super excited. And now I'm super nervous for Cobalt Blue. Now I'm super nervous for the Green Arrow appearance because, I mean,
Let's be honest,
this
the
was
show has
shite.
been kind of slowly running downhill.
I
Um,
know, but at least
it,
that, like, you got
the
your
final
final
season,
season. You're going to
you
put
think it, yeah, you put everything into it, and it sounds
But
well,
maybe now
maybe,
I also don't wanna criticize because maybe with Next Star, you don't have the same budget, you don't have the same amount of money to get like, maybe those rogues are the only rogues you could get. Maybe you couldn't afford Whitworth Miller and the guy who played McRory, and maybe you
well,
couldn't
see,
afford those people.
maybe they're gonna get, maybe they're putting all their money in to like the final 2 episodes.
Or
That's
the Green Arrow appearance.
people actually come back,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, so we know you're ending. Like, is there any word on Cisco coming back?
But
Like,
it'll
you
be
think
more
Cisco will come
service,
back by the
Joe.
end of
Like
the season?
I think he will show up, but
And there
like
we go. So
even with Arrow, the season 8, like you had an episode where Tommy was the Dark Archer, like so you had a good
yeah,
send off to Tommy before that world exploded. So you brought back a character.
but
Like I
that,
would have loved to see Captain Cold. Like that's kind of but this was
yeah,
them in the CW, and this is the Flash in with Next Star who owns Flash now. So
okay,
you know what I mean? Like they own the channel now. So they I don't know what their budgets are, what the difference is. I'm just saying that just in terms of quality, the show's gone down, but I don't know what things they have to go up against this season. So I won't
that's fair.
hold
You
all my
got you
hate
got
for them.
what? You got like
5 or 6 or
5,
7
6.
episodes left. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're
I
almost
got
done.
5 episodes till Green Arrow.
You're almost done.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 episodes till Green Arrow.
I thought this was
Wait,
5.
6, 7, 8, 9. 4
There you
episodes. Yeah.
go.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're
Yes.
even closer.
Yes. Just 3 more other craps.
Love it.
So
Love it.
Joe, you ended off season 2 of Superman and Lois. So let's
I
hear your
did.
thoughts on that because I haven't heard anything about you. I was going to message you to ask you one thing, but I bit my tongue. I wanted to hear your thoughts.
So I don't quite remember what episode 10 was. Just gonna put that out there right now. Episode 11 and 12, I really did enjoy it. So I thought this was a good ending to the season. I felt like they were the whole story about them trying to stop Allie from merging the worlds was it was fine. Like obviously season 1 was better.
Mhm,
Hands down. Season 1
mhm.
was better. This one, Ali as a villain was stupid, but I feel like how they ended it was really good, and they pulled me back in toward the end of it. I do love Tal Rowe. He
Yeah,
is amazing.
he was great in
I
this.
so just like Clark, I've come around to him being an awesome character.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. One, one, a gripe I have is Lana
Okay. Yeah, that was a big
because
break for both of
in
both when we
in
reviewed the show.
yeah, season episode 11 when the worlds are getting close and people are starting to disappear on back and forth. She tells the town of Smallville like, "Hey, go home, be with your loved ones, just stay safe." Kyle disappears, and she tells the kids, the girls, "We're gonna go get your dad because we need to be with the ones we love." All right, cool. She's finally starting to forgive him for what is happening. Nope. As soon as the very end's like,
As
hey,
soon as the
so
crisis
kids, it's
is
a good
over,
thing. It's like, no, I don't want to give you false hope. Then what the fuck are you telling your kids? Like,
the world
what
was
are you
ending.
doing?
World was ending pressure.
Oh god. Um, Sarah finding out about Jordan, interesting.
Mhm.
Uh, she's starting to put the pieces together, and so now she knows not only his secret but Clark's secret. Okay, let's see here. Steele and so John Henry and Nat, that great. Like I almost thought they were gonna like be stuck there
Yeah.
for a second, stuck
When
in
they hold
the
hands, I
woods.
was like when they were together, and I was like, "Oh my god," it was like
Yeah,
so
like that
touching.
was really good. Really like that.
I have a question for you as a
About
comic
Superman
fan.
going Super Saiyan. Yeah, that was interesting.
Well, not even that as much as, Superman doing a, like, Falcon punch and stopping the worlds from merging when we were given no explanation of how that was
So
possible.
I took it as he's got all this excess solar energy and he needs to get rid of it. Best
Mhm.
way, and the worlds are about merging, disrupt the pattern, disrupt the vibration sequence,
Frequency,
whatever.
yeah.
So like that makes to me that made sense. Like
Okay.
he needs to get rid of this excess, this power.
I
Now,
just thought it was so stupid that is what stopped the
well,
worlds merging, like
okay,
him punching
so
like that.
in New 52, there was a new power introduced called the solar flare that Superman
Yeah.
was able to do. But when he did it, he lost his powers for like 24 or 48 hours.
Supergirl did the same thing in season 1.
Supergirl did the same thing. Exactly, and that's where it came from. So him absorbing the sun's radiation, the sun's power like he did was pretty cool. Obviously, when Allie was trying to take his power, and he's like, "Yeah, no, here, take more," and she couldn't because it was too much. Then yeah, him. It just to me, I thought that worked. I liked it. Yeah, yeah.
But him being brought up to the sun first, did you like how that worked? Because I don't understand how that worked since he didn't have his powers and Tal-Rho just brought him up there. And so
There's another power.
theoretically, he doesn't get his powers back until he's in the sun, so how is he breathing up next to the
Theoretically, we did not talk about this when we reviewed Superman 3,
No, definitely not.
but there is a power because yeah, 3 was the one where the one chick was in space and was
Yeah,
totally okay. Um, there is a power that Superman has. He's got an aura around him. That's what
yeah.
protects his suit from getting just normal dirt on it. And if I remember correctly, he is able to extend that aura a little bit. So it's not beyond disbelief that Tal could do the same thing and
Okay, yeah. There you go, there you
protect
go. That's
Clark
how you
in
save it.
space.
That's how you save it, Joe. That's how you save it. I was like, "You
It's
gonna say
like I said,
Clark
it's
could do
not
it?" But
beyond
no,
belief.
but
Like it's
that's a
possible.
way to in comic explain it. That is a
Yeah.
way because
But
it is
he
true
didn't have
say,
that
but
knowledge, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, hey, I'm gonna take you up to the sun, Superman, Cal, we got this." And the minute they get out of orbit,
well,
like,
especially like you watch Superman the animated series and he's wearing spacesuits to go in space and suits
well,
to go
that's if
underwater and
he
stuff like
has to
that. That's
go
toys. That's for
far
toys.
well, definitely toys, but if he has to go a far distance,
Yeah.
like, if he has to go to another planet, like Jupiter or Neptune, or even out of the solar system, yeah, he needs the
Yeah.
suit. Um, but normally, yeah, he can go to the sun.
Are you excited for season 3?
So yeah, we got the season 3 coming out Tuesday, along with season 1 of Gotham Knights. I know you love. You're so looking forward to talking about that one on the show.
Ugh.
Are you planning on watching it? Are you gonna
I'm
watch
gonna
it?
watch the pilot. I'm gonna
Okay,
watch the pilot. That's about as far as I can promise, especially from what I've
yeah, because
seen.
I was gonna watch pilot too.
We'll
I
watch the
figured
pilot and
figure
talk
we
about
talk about the
that.
first episode at least.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we won't
you
be
know, I
doing what we do for some other things, like, we won't be going in-depth breakdown scene by scene for Gotham
I mean,
Knights, I can
look,
promise you that.
depending on if
We're gonna
depending
"Oh,
on if
this
we
is
like
the
it,
best thing ever. This is the best thing ever," and I'm totally, like,
I'll say depending
"I'm going with
on if
open
you
mind. I'm
drop
going with
and
open
I
mind."
keep it, like we could do you talk about Flash, me talk about Gotham Knights, then we both talk about Superman and Lois.
If you I don't actually,
We'll see.
I can't
We'll see.
say, like, how could you not watch The Flash and watch Gotham Knights because The Flash has been so bad. Like, it's been like,
Well, but
they
I
really
also
have to
haven't
save it
watched
with the back half.
the last 3 seasons, whereas this is a new
Very
show. I can
tough.
start from the beginning.
But, I mean, you could have manned a recap, so it would have been, like, 30 minutes to
Eh,
recap. That's basically what you need
that's
for
a lot of
some of
work.
the
I just watched the mana recaps for The Last of Us. It's like 6 minutes long. I'm like, I mean, they do explain it all in 6 minutes, but you kind of miss a lot of the intricacies, but okay.
Oh, yeah, but I'm like, I don't wanna know the intricacies for some of those you wouldn't I do, but you wouldn't want to know some of the intricacies for some and I
That
don't want
is
to know, but I do know them.
that is fair. But yeah, no, Superman Lois, I'm looking forward to that. This new season. Can't I'm happy to see what they're gonna do. I'm interested to see what the new actor who's gonna be playing Jonathan, see how he
Yes.
does. Um but yeah, we'll check that out this week when it comes out.
Looking forward to it, Joe. So we have our final thing for tonight, our Smallville retro recaps. Season 2, episode 9, Dichotic. I gotta say, Joe, instantly remembered watching this episode just because of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Same. Totally same.
100%. Because I love Tool Time. I loved it. Obviously, it's home improvement, but Tool Time is what I used to call it before I knew any better.
Or you knew? Yep, same. Don't worry. Same.
So yeah, I really enjoyed him there. He was in some kid movies as well. I think I'll Be Home for Christmas is
Yep,
one I'm thinking
that's
of.
a good movie. I don't know if
So
it holds up. I haven't watched it in forever.
and I really enjoyed him here. He was like a breath of fresh air in terms of just being evil, just trying to get by, and his power was cool the way they portrayed it. Those were some of the things I thought really stood out. Like the way his power, you could clone himself to another person. I love the look of that for especially for early 2000s, 2001. So
The episode itself was it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad.
there were some good
Um,
moments in there.
yes, Talkville was talking, and Michael from the get go is like, I don't know what's going on with everybody. Like everybody's like just crazy. Lex is going flying off the handle and destroying this meter maid thing. Lana is acting really weird with Chloe, and all this is just like, okay. I mean, you're not wrong. Like
I agree with his Lex point of view that he talked
Lex
about, but it
definitely.
was out of nowhere that Lex took the 5 iron and destroyed the cop's car, and
Yeah.
that's not something that Lex would do. Lex is more
Especially
like
he's been in Smallville for a year and a half, and people left and right. His best friend's dad has like belittled him numerous times to know that he's hasn't batted an eye. And this cop, this meter maid shows up, gives him a ticket, $25 ticket, and he's like, I pay your salary. Bang, 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 bang. Like, what?
just so out of character. So it didn't. It would have been cool to do, like just beat up a car windshield with a golf club,
Yeah.
but yeah, it didn't. It was not in Lex the way Lex has been portrayed. So that was. I agree with what they said there. Like I said, I did enjoy Clark too. Basically, by the very end, shutting down Chloe and Lana and being like, "Yeah, let's just all be friends." Like,
Yeah.
and they
That was
hated
fun.
it, and he had a smirk on his face when he got out that I really enjoyed. And they talked about the choice for that. That was pretty cool.
One thing that never knew, and obviously neither did Michael or Tom. They had Aunt Nell, the actress who plays Aunt Nell, Sarah. Nope, can't remember
McDonald's.
her name. Can't remember her name. Jane Wilder. That's not right. The actress that plays Aunt Nell in the series. They had her on the show, and she talked about how they got the little Lana from the pilot episode to cry,
Yeah.
and it was a very interesting thing where the mother, her mother, her real mom, on set had her favorite doll, her favorite like stuffed animal, and was like, "This is Mr. Beanie. You're never gonna see him again. He's going away. He's gonna go in the trash." And just tears.
Nice.
That is traumatizing.
Hell, it's traumatizing, but pretty cool way to get that done. Not gonna lie.
Like I hope as soon as they said cut, she immediately ran up. Oh no, we were just kidding. Here you go. Like, oh, here's another one too. Like, man, that's wrong.
That's pretty messed up, but still, like I said, it's
Not to see
hard with
though.
child actors
Yeah.
to get them to cry on command. And ultimately, I did like that there was a deleted scene here where it showed that actually died. Like the clone wasn't the one that died; it was actually him, and then the clone died because he died.
Or vice
And
versa.
I
But
think that's
that
the way they showed it, but that was completely wiped out because he shows up again.
yeah, it contradicts it because of season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up again in season 3. So it was an enjoyable episode, Joe. And the taco was okay. It wasn't as good as last week's, but they all can't be bangers as well.
Well, is what it is.
So I think that's it for us, Joe. I'll see you for Shazam on Friday, as well as the listeners. Remember, listeners, if you're in the chat and respond and comment in the chat, like S Bubs and All in the Game did uh, in there tonight,
Yep.
or if you rate and review the DC Alliance podcast app on your podcast app of choice,
You got
well,
chance to
podcast
win
feed,
one, if not
sorry.
two comics.
Yeah.
Two trades.
So we'll see you guys on Friday, and until then, Shazam.
Mm. Billy!